Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the NASCAR Fix. I'm Jeff Woods, and today I'm going to talk about some under-the-radar storylines entering the 2024 season. These are some storylines that I am intrigued about, and I think a lot of fans are too, but they're not the main storylines going into the season. So we're going to dive into that, and up first, I'm very curious about Austin Dillon's upcoming 2024 season. He had a season to forget in 2023. He finished 29th in points. Part of that was due to a 60-point penalty he suffered after the car failed post-race inspection after the first Martinsville race. His stats just not very good. Only one top 5 the whole season, 7 top 10s. He had 10 DNFs, all by crashes. And the most telling stat of all, possibly, is he only led 19 laps the entire season. Now, Dillon, after the season, discussed that basically after the penalty, they felt they needed to go for broke, and they pressed because they needed to get a win in order to make the playoffs. And it's kind of one of those things where it just led to even worse results for the number 3 team, and understandably so. If you're going to take that approach of we have to push the gas and we have to take chances in order to get in the playoffs, then you have to be okay with the results that happened as a result. And unfortunately for Austin Dillon, the results were not good. The question is, what does he have in store for 2024? And I would say he's one of those drivers that is feeling quite a bit of pressure. Now, his seat is going to be secure at Richard Childress Racing, I would think, as long as he wants to continue driving the car. But when your teammate is Kyle Busch, and Kyle Busch is winning 3 races, advancing to the playoffs, advancing past the first round, and then you finish 29th in points with only 1 top 5, yeah, you're going to be doing some self-examination on that one. Dillon's performance over the years has been middle of the road. We'll say that. And I'm curious how long he may want to continue going. He may just decide he wants to keep racing for another 10 years. And as long as there's sponsorship and as long as Richard Childress wants his grandson driving the number 3 car, that's going to happen. Although, if there is another subpar year where he doesn't make the playoffs or say finishes outside the top 20 in the point standings, I wonder if you might see a change. And that change might be Austin Dillon just simply getting out of the race car and then helping his grandfather manage RCR. The second under-the-radar storyline I want to talk about today, what B or C level teams can take that next step? And I think there are some serious candidates. And the one I want to talk about first is Legacy Motor Club. They had a disastrous 2023 when they announced they were moving to Toyota. Chevrolet basically cut them out, no support for the rest of the year from Chevrolet. And so they were left kind of on their own, and the results showed. Although they did show some promise toward the end of the year, Eric Jones and then Carson Hocevar in a part-time role actually ran well considering the situation they were in. Well, now 2024 comes around. They have support from Toyota. They are the 3rd team in that Toyota camp. They have some fresh new sponsors, which obviously means they have some fresh money coming in. Jimmy Johnson is running a part-time schedule as well. His presence cannot be a bad thing. They have a lot of things moving forward in the right direction. And I think the biggest thing that they have is Eric Jones. Eric Jones can be an A driver. He has shown that in the past. He has 2 Southern 500 wins. You do not luck into those. And one of those was with GMS Racing, which of course became Legacy Motor Club. Another one that I'm very curious about is Spire Motorsports. They have invested heavily in the offseason. They have 2 young and hungry rookies in Carson Hocevar and Zane Smith. And then you have Corey LaJoie, who just keeps getting better year after year. He finished all 36 races last year. He was the only driver in the series to do so. And he has threatened for wins before. If you think a couple years ago at Atlanta when he challenged Chase Elliott, it is not unreasonable to think Corey LaJoie could get a win this year, or at the very least get in the playoffs. And the 3rd team is Rick Ware Racing. Even they have been putting in the investment and trying to bring in talent and trying to bring in more technology. They have an alliance with RFK. Brad Keselowski was part of the group that brought in Justin Haley. Everyone last year just scratched their head when it was announced that Justin Haley was moving to Rick Ware Racing. But maybe he saw something that none of us have been able to see yet. And his performance at the Clash was impressive before he had some engine woes. He could be someone that could really help elevate Rick Ware. I'm not saying that they are a playoff caliber team because I don't think they are, but the parity in the Cup garage this year could be very, very strong and maybe as good as it's been in a long time. And the third under the radar storyline that I'm very interested in is Shane Van Gisbergen, also known as SVG. I'm only saying his full name one time because I will get it wrong. SVG, of course, just leapt onto the scene when he shocked the world and won at the Chicago Street Course in his first Cup start. And, well, that has netted him a full-time Xfinity Cup ride this year and select Cup races, including a couple of road courses where he could be a threat, including the Chicago Street Course. I really want to see what this guy can do. It could be a slow climb, but if Trackhouse is patient with him and he's patient with himself, the Australian V8 Supercar champion could really turn into something on the Cup level, and I'm fascinated to see what he does from here. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm starting to get excited about Daytona. It's only about a week away, and of course we have qualifying earlier in the week, and then Thursday, the duels at Daytona. I keep wanting to call them the Twins or the Gatorade Twins, but the duels, they are the duels. We're just going to have to live with that. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button if you've enjoyed watching. And that's going to do it for this edition of the NASCAR Fix. I'm Jeff Woods. We'll see you soon.